Hey everybody, MTG Lissy here, and today we're going to be talking about a deck that utilizes one of the most overlooked yet important types of card in Magic the Gathering. What could that possibly be, you ask? Well, land cards. Lately, there have been quite a few commanders that have awesome synergies with land cards. First, we have Omnath, Locus of Rage. He gives you giant elemental creatures when lands enter the battlefield. Next, we have the mono-green commander, Titania, the Protector of Argoth. She gives you giant elemental creatures whenever your lands go from the battlefield to the graveyard. And finally, the fan favorite, the Gitrog Monster. He doesn't care how lands end up in your graveyard. He'll let you draw a card no matter what. So, which of these commanders should we choose? Vote now. Just kidding, that vote was completely bogus. We've decided to do what I do best, and avoid decision making. Therefore, we've made a deck that uses all three of these awesome commanders. To unite these three commanders, I've selected the JUND Adun Oakenshield. What Adun Oakenshield offers us is a way to bring our commanders from our graveyard back to our hand in case an opponent kills them off. Or, in case we put them there ourselves. For this deck, I decided I'd try to make a budget build. As you can see, the deck is only about $120 if you don't count buying Adun himself, which fetches a pretty high price these days. To make the deck cheaper, I'd recommend taking out Life from the Loam and Golgari Grave Troll, as they're pretty expensive due to their play in Modern. Either way, this deck is still cheaper than most, and still provides some awesome gameplay. If you're gonna build a deck based around lands, you're gonna need a lot of ways to get lands into your hand and into play. These ramp cards will accelerate your game plan, help you get landfall triggers for Omnath, and ensure you have enough lands to sacrifice late game for Titania and Gitrog. Burgeoning, Rites of Flourishing, Girapur Ori, and Mina and Den Wildborn allow you to play extra lands every turn. Rites of Flourishing and Girapur Ori also allow your opponents to play more than one land per turn. But this is all right with me, because we're going to be putting our extra lands to much better use than they will be. Mina and Den Wildborn can also allow you to return lands to your hand so you can continue to trigger landfall for Omnath. Here, we have a bunch of ways to get cards into the graveyard. This helps you search for your Gitrogs, Titanias, and other win cons, because Adun can return them to your hand. Also, with Gitrog, milled lands just draw you cards. Here, we have a few additional recursion cards. Eternal Witness can return one of your three commanders to your hand, Dread Return can put them straight onto the battlefield, and Rift Sweeper can save them from exile. I won't grounds keep it a secret any longer. Getting lands back from your graveyard seems pretty good in this deck. Groundskeeper, Tilling Treefolk, Splendid Reclamation, and Creeping Renaissance can help rescue your milled, sacked, or discarded lands from your graveyard. Next, we have cards that synergize with the Gitrog Monster. You should be sure to become familiar with wildly discarding lands in this deck, as with Gitrog in play, you can cycle through your deck with ease. After that, we have a few cards that synergize very well with Titania. These cards allow you to sack lands for extra value. Constant Mists can keep you safe from combat damage turn after turn, and Strands of Night can allow you to sacrifice swamps to bring your commanders back to the battlefield. If you can land one of these finishers, they'll help you win the game very quickly. Borborygmos can turn lands into lightning bolts. Avenger of Zendikar can make a bunch of plant tokens that get really big really fast with all the lands that'll be cycling in and out of play. Liege of the Tangle turns all your lands into a giant attacking army. Worm Harvest can get you bazillions and zillions of green worm tokens. And Exsanguinate, well, if you have a ton of mana, pretty much just takes out everybody at the table. Here we have a removal. We have single target removal in Putrefy and Drown in Filth, and mass removal in Blasphemous Act and Decree of Pain. Traverse the Uvenwald, Dark Petition, and Diabolic Tutor are in the deck to help add consistency to your deck of many commanders, and to help you find answers in a pinch. And of course, you're going to need some card draw. Courser of Crufix lets you play lands off the top of your library. Horn of Greed lets you draw a card whenever a land comes into play, and Tireless Tracker can give you a crap ton of clues by the end of the game. And finally, we've arrived at our land cards. Barren Moor, Tranquil Thicket, Forgotten Cave, Polluted Mire, Slippery Karst, Smoldering Crater, and Blasted Landscape help you to cycle through your deck and just become draw 2 with Gitrog in play. Evolving Wilds, Myriad Landscape, and Terramorphic Expanse all sacrifice themselves so you can get triggers from Titania, and also count as 2 land drops, one for when you play them, and one for when the other lands come into play, for Omnath triggers. Ebon Stronghold and Havenwood Battleground are also lands that sacrifice themselves to get you more Gitrog and Titania triggers. Blighted Fen acts as removal, and Blighted Woodland as ramp. Iceflow and Glacial Chasm can help ward off attackers. Rix Mahdi reads, pay 3, loot, and your opponents discard a card when you have a land in hand. Dakmor Salvage and Drownyard Temple can come back from the graveyard. And finally, we have a pile of basic lands and some dual lands that can be pretty much whatever you want them to be. Are you lost but seeking a less budget version of this deck? Well, Azusa, Lost but Seeking, Exploration, and Oracle of Moldiah are some super powerful but also very expensive ways that allow you to play extra lands. You can add Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, and Entomb for a stronger set of tutors. And if you wish to shift even more money out of your wallet, you can add Scapeshift to the deck. It is absolutely insane. This basically reads draw a million cards and make 2 million elementals. Another very expensive, yet very broken card in this deck is Crucible of Worlds. Playing lands straight out of your graveyard without any help from any other cards is just absolutely stupid. And here we have our high roller lands. Dust Bowl, Strip Mine, and Wasteland can destroy your opponent's lands. You have 2 really good sack outlets in Mirren the Moaning Well and Phyrexian Tower. Maze of Ith is one of the best ways to stop creatures from attacking you. Lake of the Dead, Scorched Ruins, and Petrified Field are strange ramp cards that really only work in a deck like this where sacrificing lands can give you some extra value. The shock lands, the fetch lands, and the dual lands are also some higher priced additions to add consistency to your deck. Thank you everyone for watching. I really hope you liked this deck tech. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video if you liked it. You can also find me at MTG_LISSIE on Twitter and Twitch. The next deck I'm going to make is probably going to be one of the 4 color commanders that come out in the next commander set. Which commander colors are you excited to run? Thanks everybody, this is MTG Lissy signing off.